I'm Mark Goodwin. I'm the web team manager for Rentokil Initial, and I've been working there for 21 years, so I've got quite a bit of experience in CMSs and running a small team which delivers probably...
Hello.
Which delivers 180 websites globally. We've got a very small team of about 4 or 5 developers, and then we rely an awful lot on VAS to help us deliver the content and also the templates and the code for us. So, Simi, would you like to say a bit about yourself?
Hello. Good morning, survivors. How many of you have like a heat hangover today? Yeah, I see lots of you. So, I'm Simi, and in my current identity, I declare myself a Magnolia consultant, a team lead at VAS. And I had the honor and the pleasure to work now for 4 years with Mark and the Rentokil team. And I'm kind of very happy for you all to get to know a lot more about them, what they are doing, and how they are doing it. With this said, Mark, would you like to introduce Rentokil to all of us?
So Rentokil Initial, global brand. Probably most of you have heard of the Rentokil brand, which is the pest control business we've got. But we do have two other brands, one being Initial, which is normally the washrooms, not here, but hotels. Normally you'll have your soap dispensers and your hand towels, etc. And then we also have an Ambius division, which decorates rooms, puts plants in, makes the well-being really good. But the Rentokil brand became the world's largest pest control company a couple of years ago when we purchased a company called Terminix in North America. So we are now 65 people across 92 countries, with North America delivering probably most of our business these days. Digital is at the core of Rentokil. Everything we do. It's not just the websites. All the technicians that go out and survey rooms looking for pest problems, they used to do it all by hand on paper, but now they can measure a room digitally. They can place the traps on there and don't really need to do anything by hand anymore. We've got a lot of portals that customers can log into. Again, it's all digital. We had a really good big push about 5 years ago to get rid of paper. And yeah, we're a global reach. As I say, we're in 92 countries, 26 languages, and we will cover some of that later. Simi, do you want to tell us a little bit about VAS?
Well, yeah. VAS is a global digital solution partner that was now in the space for more than 25 years, supporting our clients in all their digital solution needs. And as said, we have worked with Rentokil for 4 years now, supporting their digital transformation journey. It's like how I like to call it, a digital transformation journey. And mostly what we are doing, we are ensuring that, all those 160, I don't know how many sites you already have, because last week we had a go-live. We have 2 go-live in some days, so I have absolutely no idea. Well, that everything runs smoothly. Okay, so we collaborate with them on that. Ooh, Mark, please don't tell me that we have to migrate all that stuff.
No. Don't panic. So this is a little bit of a timeline over the last since I started Rentokil. The images on the right-hand side, they were how our websites looked back in 2005. There was no consistency. There was no branding. They all were run by IT teams. No marketing wrapped around them at all. And at that point, we decided that it would make sense to pull all these sites into one platform. Hopefully, have a standard feel, get some branding around them, make it look like Rentokil Initial or Ambius. So that's where we started in 2005. We pulled as many sites as we could into a CMS. It wasn't Magnolia at the time. And we went through that process of templating and making them standard. And we spent the next 14, 15 years going through that process, reiterating, and eventually we ended up with 180 websites in the system. But they were still individual websites. Every site still needed a developer to go and do something to actually make it function. Contact forms, wrapping PHP around pages to make them dynamic, etc. So we decided that it was time to move on to something a little bit more modern, a little bit faster, and a little better for our content authors. So that's where we started talking to Magnolia. And in 2020, of course, COVID kicked in just as the project kicked off. So it got delayed a little bit. But then we spent the next couple of years learning about Magnolia, understanding how it could work, and using our learnings from the previous 15 years to build a better templating system and make the user, the author experience a lot better. We didn't really start the migration from the old system to the new system until late 2021, maybe into 2022. So it took us a couple of years, but we migrated 120 websites manually, copying and pasting a lot of content, and which isn't a bad thing, but obviously these days with AI would have been a lot quicker. Moving on to 2026, today we've now got 150 websites in there, and as Simi said, it's growing. Rentokil we have a lot of acquisitions. At one point we were buying a business every week, so every business we buy we've got to do something with that website. Some of them fold into the master brand, some of them need to go on their own site because they're big enough. So we tackle those, and we'll talk a little bit more about how we do some of those later on.
Now, this is a story that I have heard lots of times, but as a Magnolia fan I am, I like to hear it over and over again. So, Mark, could you tell us, why did you choose Rentokil when you switched CMSs?
Well, we actually chose Magnolia, not Rentokil.
Do you see, guys, it's the heat hangover. What can I say?
Of course, it was to work with you.
Oh.
So, no, I mean, seriously, support. In the old system, I think there was one person in the UK that could support it for us as the system was dying, apart from our own internal team. So we had no external support. It was an old system. It was out of support. When we spoke to Magnolia, a room full of partners, we could pick anyone we wanted to work with, and we ended up with Simi. But as you know, you weren't our first. We also wanted headless, so we're not just serving websites. We've got, as I said, we've got some portals. Portals have got content in them, multi-language. We want to be able to serve that content from a CMS that a developer doesn't need to build into a release. It can be done by a non-technical person. So we want to be able to serve that. Magnolia, tick that box. WYSIWYG experience. I know a lot of people complain about the green bars in Magnolia. Tell you what, that's heaven from what we had before. We want to make sure that it's not quite edit in place, but at least you could see what you're editing rather than just filling in some forms, waiting sometimes an hour, sometimes overnight for a publish to see what you actually did and see whether it was right or wrong. If it was wrong, of course, you've got to go through that process again. Flexible. We've got a lot of bespoke systems within Rentokil that have been written internally. We want to be able to talk to those. We want to pull data from them. We want to push data back out to them. The APIs that Magnolia's got that ticks that box. It's got to be able to support 180 websites globally I've put 26 languages, but I think it's more than that. It's constantly changing. I think we've got Chinese in Argentina or something at the moment. I don't know what's going on there, but and then rapid edits. As I said, it was taking a long time to make any changes to any of the content in the old system. Magnolia, we can make changes in minutes and publish, and it's out on the web for our customers to read. That's me done.
Okay.
I think I've been speaking enough now. My mouth's gone dry.
Fair enough. So, as you see, Mark likes to remind me each time that we were not the first ones as partners for them. Okay, so now let's discuss. What do we need in order to manage global websites? Well, the first thing, we need a team, like the correct team. And in Rentokil's case, this team is very diverse. It's us, the IT Magnolian fellows, with the support of Vas, of course, and of our dear colleagues from Magnolia. But it's not just us. We have, of course, the marketing team split between the ones that generate the content, that contribute the content, the SEO team, the data team, you name it. And, of course, the all individual markets. Mark already said, multi-country, so imagine each country has mostly its own marketing team. All of them have on top, of course, a managing line. So that's the first step. You need a team, a dedicated specialized team in order to achieve this. Everybody works, of course, with Magnolia, Cloud Magnolia 6.4 at this stage. But talking on tools, like what will be the highlights? Because we could talk probably for hours on how we do things and what we do to manage globally this so many sites. But one of the core things is this a single code base. Okay, so everything that we have, we share it across all of our sites, all of our brands, because there are lots of brands. Of course, we use the components library, and we just make it look different. Okay, this is important. Why? Because if you want to manage the code, if you go rogue for so many sites and so many brands, it will get to a point where it's unmanageable. Of course, also from the perspective of scaling, because we want to do new things, and from the perspective of the innovation, on which we will talk a bit later. In relating to this, I mentioned the brands. We have lots of brands, okay? So this single code base also allows us to have a very smooth brand transition. What does that mean? That means that when we have a new acquisition, and Mark said at some point there are one acquisition per month or something like that, it's quite easy to put in life a new site, a new brand. So work that may have taken months, now it may take weeks. So it's quite quick. You have heard about the 26-something languages and that we have Chinese in Argentina. Well, for us, one of the core tools that Magnolia offers is the live copy. We are those freaks, that we go on Magnolia webinars and they introduce, some cool AI tool and whatever, and we are the ones, but does it work with live copy? Because if it doesn't work with live copy, not for us. So, that's important because we have lots of countries in which more than one language is taught. So our approach to the live copy, it's probably the most simple one, okay? Because we do like a component and content. Again, this is because there are 160-something sites, lots of countries, lots of continents. I think that just the Antarctica, we are not there. But, well, give us time. So, as said, when we do this management like, it's much more easier to maintain all the branding dialogue, let's say like this, all the information, and also when something is changed, to make it much more easier to change across the rest. With this in mind, of course, content translation is also quite a big one. Now I would like to ask, Mark, do you know exactly which Magnolia version we are in? 6?
Of course I do.
Oh,
6.4.6.
Okay, 6.4.6. The next release?
And 7 in the next release on the 8th of July.
And 6.4.7 in the next release. Cool. Any Magnolian in the room can tell me which is the latest released version? 6.4.7. Oh, cool. So in the next release, we will be in the last Magnolia release. Nice. Now, we have seen the hands yesterday, the one who has raised the hands or who were already in 6.4, and, well, not that many. We will have some conversations a bit later in some minutes on why it is important. But till then, Mark, do you want to talk a bit about the multi-region? Because I know that you're quite proud of it.
Multi-region is an example of when something bad happens, it's good. So as we were starting to go down the Magnolia route, we got DDoSed on the old system. And that meant we were in the spotlight. We were losing $600,000 a day when the site was down. So people were, how can we stop this happening again in the future? We were in the process of building and the servers ourselves, to host it ourselves. And of course, then how can we make it? How can we make it? Magnolia have got Cloud 3. Let's go with Cloud 3. Give Magnolia the problem. We don't have to worry about the infrastructure. Let's stick Cloudflare over the top of it. So we were then protected. We've moved on. We've moved to DX Cloud last year with the intention of looking at multi-region. But I don't know. We then had some campaigns go out in Asia which took down the Magnolia servers. That again flagged to the money people that we need to put more effort, more money, more resource, more resilience into our platform. So of course, multi-region is the obvious answer. We've now gone. We've got an instance in North America, we've got an instance in Europe, and we've got an instance in Singapore, with one author which pushes to all 3 instances simultaneously. So and then load balance with Cloudflare. So if one goes down, the other 2 will pick up the slack and serve the content for the rest of the world. And then just this week, I don't think he's in the room, we were handed the keys for China. So we're looking to go live in China towards the end of August. So we are covering the globe.
It's how we are.
You turned it off. Would you like to talk about the AI project and metadata?
Boo, I kind of have the feeling that after yesterday's topics, we will kind of change what we are seeing in here. But okay, let's stick with the plan for now. So, of course, we will continue our AI projects. Metadata is the first of them. Tagging not just assets, but also content. The content authoring, we are working also, of course, with the text to components now, docs to components, it seems. So, hell yeah, let's see how that will go in. And we all have already started the data insights and analytics. So, it is in what's next, but we are there. So, Mark, more things?
As you said earlier, what's the advantage of being on 6.4? We get all the latest toys, one of them being Swift Publishing. So again, we're experimenting with that at the moment, and we're hoping to turn that on in the next few months. But again, with the size and the amount of content, we've got 30,000 pages, 30,000 assets in Magnolia. Multiple teams working on content at the same time. They want to be able to publish. We find that every now and again, someone publishes a whole site of 500 or 600 pages, and it becomes a bit of a slower performance for the other authors. So we're hoping that Swift Publishing, I'm told that Swift Publishing will solve that problem, and again, making it a better experience for the authors, not just for our customers. So yeah, getting quite excited about that.
As you see, single code base, subliminal message.
So we're coming to the end now. I just want to really give a bit of an overview, a summary there. We've gone from the chaos and the mess of IT-managed websites with very little common look and feel between them, very difficult to manage, through to these lovely images on the right-hand side here. They are all coming out of a single template, single set of components, just with different content, different images, and different CSS. And it gives us a bit of a brand identity, and hopefully people can look at us, most of our sites, and go, yeah, that's Rentokil. Maybe dated, but that's my own opinion. And again, you see we've got it in Arabic there. We can go left to right, right to left, and I think that's it.
You can't run away too quickly. Sorry.
We've got the tough bit now.
Tough bit? This is the easy bit. You've done the hard stuff. Thank you very, very much for walking us through that journey. I'll take that, yeah. I was like, do we have any questions from the audience? We're doing live questions today, so does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask Mark or Simi? Go for it. Sorry, just wait for the microphone, if that's okay.
Good morning. Thanks for the talk. I would be interested in the Swift publication combined with your search appliance. What kind of search are you using at the moment, and how do you put the content there?
We don't talk about search. We have Site Search 360 plugged in, which is very, very basic. So we found that not many people were coming to our sites and using the search. Most of our customers are panic customers because they've got a rat running around in the kitchen, so they just want to come to the rat page, pick up the phone, or fill in a form. They're not searching around the site looking. They're not researching, really. So we don't put an awful lot of effort into search at the moment, but it is something we do need to look at in the future.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions from the room? No? Oh, sure. Thank you very much. Just Sebi's on the way with the mic.
Hello. Yeah. Well, thank you for your talk. So I'm Rafael from Geberit, and in many ways what you've said here, it's similar to our web setup. It's just a third of the countries, but one more language. But anyway, so I'm curious to know how you handle the content distribution process. So you said it is globally created, but locally adjusted. Now, we face a similar challenge. It's just that the master content tends to change, and the local content tends to be adapted. So after several versions, it gets a bit tricky. How do you handle that challenge?
I'm not sure. We have here in the room with us our content specialist. So probably if you approach us after, we can put you in contact with him directly and he can explain far better how they're managing it.
But generally, we've got a central team that will cover, and come up with the standards, the processes of pushing content out to the markets, to the local regions. And then we have local marketing teams as well who can then adapt it or take it as is. But the strategy comes centrally from a global team, which Rasto in the green over there, if you'd like to talk to him more about it.
Perfect. All right. Well, on that note, thank you both very much. I think I need to take the microphones, if that's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.